Hello again everyone, Armando here with another, my second video on my 3 video quickie series. This was my Halloween build for the SFMA 2014 Halloween build. This is the Alien Queen by Halcyon, the 1/12 scale Alien Queen. It's a PVC, as they call it, plastic model. Basically it's a vinyl model. And this build, the Queen herself took me 3 days. I assembled her in her entirety first by gluing her together, all the parts, and then I went ahead and did the paint job, and I'll go ahead and describe that for you. Let me show you some of the details on the kit from the pictures I took for the thread. Again, this thread is available on Sci-Fi Model Action in the Halloween build. This is my Photo Bucket account. I've been posting pictures of this on Google Plus so you guys can see it. These are the parts. This was a bit more complicated than the Phoenix, but again, the beauty of these lightning builds, as I like to call them, is there's no lighting to think about or planning or mulling over or torturing yourself over. It's just painting. It's in a way it's the purest form of model building that I can think of, because it brings out the artist in you, whatever artistic tendencies you might have. It's relaxing. It frees your brain to just paint and glue and make it look pretty without worrying about all the technicalities of lighting or any other issues. And it gives you a nice break from some of the longer Starship builds, which can get pretty complicated, or ship or whatever. And it's basically what I needed while I waited for the issues with the Akira to resolve themselves as the repairs I made cured. So here are the parts disassembled. Not a very complicated kit. Very long tail, which is posable. 2 legs, 2 arms, and 2 very small mini arms that go in the front, as you will see. The head had a separate crown piece. That was the most difficult part. This is hollow vinyl. It had to be trimmed. As you can see, in order to make it fit. That was difficult, but I was able to do it, thankfully. Oh, that's the wrong picture. Let's move ourselves forward on the pictures. This is the Queen after assembling the torso, and this is the crown I was telling you about. That's the seam that I had. I was able to hide it by making it as evenly matched as possible, and eventually what it looked like was part of the features of the surface, so there really wasn't much in the way of sanding or putting. In fact, there was none. These PVC kits, they're not as amenable to sanding and putting as styrene, although it can be done. And you can also use, as I have shown in some of my other vinyl kits, air drying clay, which fills in the gaps nicely. But this kit, although it was a commercial kit, did have some problems up here, but all in all it wasn't too bad. This kit came with some screws in place. I suspect these were placed by the previous owner to facilitate placement of the parts. I didn't have a problem with it. It did help me place the parts, as you will see. This is further along in the assembly. The arms have been placed. The arms are articulated. They can rotate, and these are the mini arms in the front, which are placed. And this is the Queen assembled and standing up before doing any kind of painting. Well, almost assembled. Those spikes are going to be placed on its back pretty soon. But as you can see, she's an imposing kit. She's very tall. I think about 14 inches. Okay. This is after I painted her, and the paint job was basically I covered her in gloss black Alclad primer, which doubles as a very nice glossy black. After I did that, I went ahead and started adding highlights of hot metal Alclad colors, including blue, green, and violet along its surface, and some sepia. You can see some of them there. I will show them to you on the actual model in a minute. But they add sort of a colored translucency, which is reminiscent of the shell and insects, which is what I've always gone for with these alien kits. I've always thought they were sort of insect-like in their appearance, and it makes them more sinister. The teeth were painted with Alclad silver after I masked off the rest of the head, and I airbrushed the teeth. Here's a detail of the teeth. You can see some of the different colorations there from the Alclads. Now, I finalized her finish after completing all the Alclads by adding the Nason clear coat, and that's why she has such a nice glossy appearance. The stuff is amazing. It makes her look really slimy. It's a very nicely molded kit. Look at the sharpness of the teeth. Here's a crown, and that's the area that I told you guys I worked on. As you can see, basically it looks like any other detail on the surface, or at least it does to me. If it doesn't, well, then I guess I like to fool myself, but she looks pretty nice anyway. Here's the leg. As you can see, again, some of the colorations come through very nicely. And this is her from behind. That's the bottom of the crown, the spikes, and her tail. And that's her standing on the bench after I'm finished. Now, oh, this is another shot. Okay. Now, for the base, I took a small plaque from Michaels and placed some studs on the bottom so it would stand up. And my idea was originally to put a small hose underneath, which would emerge from the center, somewhere in that vicinity, and I would connect it to a fog machine, and then I would mold some eggs. I would somehow come up with eggs, alien eggs, and I would place them on there, maybe light them, and then push some fog through the hose so it would create the foggy ambience appearance that you see when Ripley first encounters a queen in Aliens, which is a nice misty appearance where you can't really see much, but you see all the shadows. So that was my idea. For the eggs, I found these novelty molds for ice making, which these are made by Kotobukiya, and they make several different types, including Death Stars and some other Star Wars stuff, the Back to the Future car, if you can believe it. And I thought this was really cool. These ice trays have 4 small ones and a large one. The ones I actually used are in the shop, and they're dirty. This one I'm actually going to use to make some ice. That's why it's still encased in its plastic. I got them on eBay for $9 a piece. They're made out of silicone, and my initial idea was to take the air clay that I use for filling in gaps and press it into the mold to create a casting, and then take the 2 halves and put them together. But a couple of problems surfaced. One was I couldn't get the clay soft enough to get it in there and pick up Okay, my apologies, guys. I had a phone call in uvu and I had to answer, so I'm back. Anyway, I couldn't get the air dry clay in here to mold completely, conform to the details and pick up details on the cast. And when I'd get the halves out, I couldn't get them to stick together very nicely. So I figured this isn't going to work. And then I was looking at my hot glue gun while I was thinking, and I saw the glue drip down. And I thought, well, you know, hot glue is liquid initially. I wonder if the silicone will take. The silicone is pretty good at insulation. So I poured hot glue into this thing and allowed it to settle, cooled it for a few minutes in my freezer, and pulled it out, and voila, I had a translucent whitish alien egg half that was perfect. So I decided to just do that. Created these alien eggs, and lo and behold, I have them. So I believe I made about 6 of them. I only used 5, and I painted them in different tones of brown and dark green. Tried to paint the top with flesh color, and then I stuck LEDs in them, different colors, and that's what I did with the base. I'll be back momentarily with a continued follow-up. Okay, so here she is completed. I finished the base as I described. I painted the eggs in different shades of dark green and brownish alien-like colors. Let me get my glasses so I can see what I'm doing here. I nixed the idea of the fog from the Halloween machine coming in through the back, because it would condense inside the hose, and basically all I'd get is water out of it. So unfortunately I couldn't do that, but I thought the eggs came out pretty good. The top flesh color stuff was so-so, but again, from far away it looks fine. She looks spectacular, in my opinion. Now, I placed different color LEDs in the eggs. The one in front is a changing color LED, the others are all static. Let me turn it on and I'll show it to you. As you can see, that one's changing colors. The others are all static colors. Green. That's amber actually, not red. It comes out reddish in the camera, but it's amber. That's UV, which is sort of purplish blue, and that's white. They look darker in person. The camera picks up the light too much. I realize this may not be exactly Canon, except maybe the green one. In some representations it shows up with light inside, but I just could not resist using the translucency of those hot glue eggs to light them up. And it was a simple matter of just putting an LED in each one of them and then wiring them up at the bottom. So that's my alien queen. She's my official entry for the Halloween build. Let me turn on the light so you can see her a little better. She's standing next to my Hulk there. And I think she came out great. I love her. So there she is. On to my next video in the quick build series. Talk to you later.